What's up guys, James here, back in the garage for another video. And this video is not going to be a project necessarily, but it's more like the direction of where I'm going with the MR2 Spyder. Damn it. Alright, I'm probably starting all over because the fan was roaring and I'm sweating. What's up guys, James here in the garage with another video. So this is gonna be just a small update. First of all, I want to talk about the Celica. It's just the fact that I got it in the garage. Second, I want to talk about the MR2 Spyder in the direction of the channel. Part of the reason why I made the channel and what I'm going to do with the Spyder as far as going forward pretty much. So the Toyota Celica, it's been kind of a thorn for a while. It's got the starter issue, so I can crank the car and drive it, and I might get somewhere and park the car, and then it'll be hard to get it to start. So as far as I know, there were two different things that were causing that. The first being the starter relay, just the wiring going to it. They're just old and brittle, I guess. So you would have to basically buy another relay and reroute a power wire and the other wires for the starter through the relay, so that when you turn the key, you got basically fresh wires going to a new relay to get the car started. And so I did that, and that solved the problem initially. But then when I installed the EMS, I ran into some issues again. And then I recently, or I shouldn't say recently, probably a couple years ago, I installed the Mega Squirt. And so I ran into issues when installing the Mega Squirt. And part of it was my fault. I was multitasking, which I shouldn't have done while, like repinning some ECU pins. And so when I had the ECU plug upright, basically I ended up getting it upside down because I left and the wires just kind of like rested in this original position. And I went right back in and started pinning wires and got some stuff messed up. So I had to unpin it and kind of correct it. And I've had issues since. And then there's this other issue that I had with the Celica. So I would get in the car, I would go for a drive, and basically what would happen is the car would die. It may not start once I get to where I'm going, and it may die while I'm driving. And what I've found, and this is like some information that I dug up on the web, was that the igniter, the coils inside the igniter, I believe, would they would make a close enough connection while the car is cold, and then as it gets hot, they start to, I guess it's a little bit of a separation. And basically what it would do is it would cause the electricity to not, once it's heated up, to not be able to arc across whatever is happening inside the coil. And so from what I understand, it's probably like just a minor like crack inside the coil, and the electricity could arc when the car is cold, but it can't once it's hot. And so the car would just die and just roll to the side of the road. And I dealt with that. I found, I just got online and ordered a new coil. I think I ordered a coil pack and igniter and fixed that issue. And years later, I'm running into similar issues, but I think this is strictly due to the wiring issues that I have when I went from stock ECU to, which fried. I think it fried due to moisture, but went from stock ECU to AEM EMS, and then from AEM to Mega Squirt with the, the mistakes that I made with that. So that's pretty much the Celica. No other updates as of now. I just got to dig in there and get that figured out. And then with the MR2 Spyder, one of the things that I wanted to do when I bought this car is I set out to figure out if I wanted this car to be boosted or normally aspirated. And that's pretty much the reason why I made the channel, is the fact that I was doing so much work on this. And I started out with like Jay's Garage, right? My name is James, I go by Jay, so I wanted Jay's Garage. Saw that was taken, so I just kind of came up with a different idea, which was based on this. So that's the name of the channel. Here's the car. And now that I'm here and I've driven a normally aspirated K24 with K20 oil pump, so pretty much stock. I love the car as is, but I want more power. I do want 0 to 60 to be, faster, and I want quarter-mile times. So I've gotten into 13s, and like, it's fun, it's exciting, but I have an obsession with power. I want more. So basically what I thought I would do, and I thought I would be happy with, is get so some RDX injectors, a Scum 2 Pro intake manifold, 70mm throttle body, 50-degree VTC, and RDX injectors. I think I already said RDX. Dry cartel dropping cams. So I thought those would put me over 250 wheel, and I'd be happy with that. And I was initially happy, but I knew that if 220 felt pretty good, 250 wouldn't make that much more of a difference. And so it would only be a matter of time after driving a 250 wheel horsepower Spyder that I would want 275 and then 300. So I looked into a 4-piston engine, decided that for $10,000, $11,000 for 300 normally aspirated horsepower, yes, I could go that route, but at the same time, I could just buy another block. So what I decided to do was, I got another block. So it's being shipped, it's on its way. It's another K24 Japanese spec K24A2. So I'm gonna basically take that motor and I'm gonna do the parts that I just mentioned that I was gonna do in this. So I'm gonna do the RDX injectors. I'm gonna bump up the fuel pressure a little bit to make those work. I'm gonna do the skunk intake manifold. I'm probably just gonna port that, port match the 70mm throttle body, and then I think I am gonna stick with the dry cartel cams. I don't want to go too aggressive and risk like time and chain issues and stuff like that, as far as what I've read. And the 50-degree VTC, and then high compression pistons. So what I'm thinking is 12-to-1 or 12.5-to-1 high compression pistons. I think that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm hoping that'll get me over maybe 275 wheel horsepower, revving to maybe 8,000 RPMs. I'm gonna stay with the stock oil pump, and the reason for that is the current K20 oil pump in this car, it is giving me a whole lot of vibration, so I can be driving. Right here you can hear it more. You can feel it. That's this. Gets pretty bad at times. So I can be driving, I can come down to a light, stop, and I might have like my door panels, more specifically the passenger door panel and the glove box. Those are rattling at about 900 RPM. So I can raise the idle up to about 1,000, maybe even 1,050. And it'll hover around there and everything will be good. Of course, it's a little bit louder, but that's fine. And then what'll happen is it'll kind of fluctuate a little bit. So the idle will drop back down to 900 RPM range, and then all of those vibrations come back. And it sounds like the car is just gonna vibrate and rattle apart. So I've had issues in the past when I first did the K-swap where nuts and bolts were coming loose. And so one of my concerns is that if I just leave everything as is, although I did do Loctite on some of the bolts, some things are gonna eventually come loose again and leave me on the side of the road. So I wanna be proactive this time around and make sure that I address those things. And then I'm able to stop, get past like a shakedown and actually take the car out to some events and stuff like that and, put it to the test really. And then with the current motor that's in the car with the K20 oil pump, I'm not worried about refinement as much. So basically I'm just gonna do a very basic turbo setup. So I'm just going to install this stuff right here that I already have, which is a log manifold and a max speed and rod turbo. I don't remember exactly which one this is, but it should be good. Like I think they say it's good for 500-600 horsepower, something like that. And I think if I can get 400 to the wheels, I'll be good. So I may go with what I think I'll be doing is buying, so I'll have 2 VTCs. So anything that's gonna be internal to either engine, I'll just have to have more than one, I guess. Like the VTC, for example. I will not do cams in the turbo motor unless I do some research and realize that the cams are like turbo cam specific cams for boost are a good idea. Otherwise, it's gonna be a very basic, I'm just gonna put the turbo on, I'm just gonna get a turbo oil pan that's already got the bung welded and just call it, drop everything in, get some injectors that'll, match whatever it is that I'm trying to do. And I think that'll be pretty much it for the 2 different setups. The only other thing is I do have front strut bar that's on the car, carbon fiber Cusco. And then I ordered the Leao Beat Rush, whatever it's called. But I ordered that strut for the back, and so that's coming from Japan. It'll be here like June or something like that, so stiffen up the back a little bit more. But long story short, I wanted a little bit more refinement for daily driving, and the current motor with the, I think it's a combination of the mounts and the K20 pump. I just don't get that, so it's a rough ride. Now mind you, when I'm driving, as long as I'm cruising, it's all good. But and then along with that, I ordered a muffler. So instead of running a resonator only, I'm gonna run a muffler and possibly a muffler and a resonator. So I wanna bring the volume down some so that when I get on it, it doesn't just go full race sound, And what I want is for my normally aspirated build to be a little bit more stealthy. So when I'm cruising, it's not gonna be too loud. And when I floor it and I'm picking up speed, I do so in kind of a stealthy, not so look at me way. And I think that'll make the car a lot more fun. I could, have fun with it without drawing too much attention and catch people by surprise. So that's the direction of the Spyder. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for some more content in the weeks to come. If you have any input on either of the builds, be sure to drop a comment, like, and subscribe for more.